My understanding, whether this is correct or not, was that, and I'm sorry if this background noise is too much. My understanding is that the RRS going away from it was just because the technology itself was like much more expensive, both to produce and to
Yep.
purchase.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I would think the melanin in the palm versus the fingertip is similar. It's more that you can like squeeze out for the hemoglobin with the blanching. I this is a good question for Werner and Igor, I think.
And anyone else, feel free to chime in if anyone has any other thoughts on this.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. The reason I'm asking is, if we're having some issues with the finger, and and I get why you want to blanch out the hemoglobin, and the blood flow, but maybe we have to figure out a device where we help the individual apply just enough pressure so we're not squeezing their hand, because I know we're working with a lot of like preschoolers and infants too in some of these, like, so I wasn't sure if the technology got better, which is what it's I guess somewhat, but it may be worth considering. I'd be curious to see what those other newer technologies are, but I'm guessing they're made by different people, and I'm guessing those proprietors are not willing to share always their algorithms for use. So just curious, because I've used the RRS as well.
Mm-hmm. The one other device that I've started looking at, just out of curiosity, is made by a company in Germany, and their algorithms are locked down tight. Like, it doesn't even come out on their tablets in the app. Everything goes to their server in Germany, gets analyzed there, and then it pops back your score, because they don't want anything to be reverse engineered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that technology, Alisha, that you're talking about, we just saw some of the first publications come out using that. So after this call, we can circulate those articles in case anyone's interested in looking more into that. So I guess there's pros and cons, right? There's I've heard that purchasing the device might be a little bit cheaper than the Vegimeter, but not kind of knowing what's going on the back end, not understanding the algorithm that it's employing. I mean, those are some major concerns that I would have as a researcher.
Yeah. And I believe it's also being used and marketed, not that marketing for supplement purposes is problematic necessarily, but that's kind of the world that it has been created for. So to be used in a research field, it might take a little bit more discussion with the developers to make it so that it's formatted in a way that we're getting the data that we need to be able to analyze appropriately.
Yeah, one more comment in the chat. Yeah, before we transition over to Valerie. So Amy, thinking about some of the other reasons as to why the finger might be more advantageous compared to the palm and other spectroscopy measurements. So maybe less callousing. Most of the callousing is on the tip of the finger, not the pad. So another reason why we might be more leaning toward different sites for measurements. Thanks for sharing. Great. Well, if anyone here in the room has any follow-up questions for Alisha, feel free to type those in the chat. And we'll go ahead and transition to our next speaker.